Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lacey. Thank you for joining Living with Lacey. Today, I have one last planner to show and to share with you. I'm excited about. This is probably one that's very functional that I use. For those of you who don't know, I serve as a worship leader and I'm also a creative services liaison for my church. And so I do a lot of ministry work. You can kind of call this a faith planner. I'm just calling it a ministry planner because I'm really putting everything in as far as, journaling, sermon notes, calendars for all the meetings that I have. And so I just wanted to take a little time to share this with you. But I have something exciting, guys. So my daughter, Brooklynne, I've convinced her to share her planners with you also. She has 4 very functional planners. She's going to share those with you too. And so you can get some other ideas than just from me. Well, let's get started. All right, so this planner stays on my planner card because it's not something that I use every single day. I'm trying to though, y'all. It's one of the things I'm trying to do this year is really get into journaling. Now, if you, of course, when you look at this, you look at just look at it and see how you can make it work for you. But a couple of, maybe about 5 or 6 months ago, I'm not sure how long, Cloth and Paper gave us this A5 inside of our subscription box. I'm gonna be serious, y'all. I'm a half letter girl and I'm a HP mini girl. And when I got this A5, I was like, what does she expect us to do with this? And so I was totally against it and it sat on the shelf. And just the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to use it. So this is what I'm using it for. So in the front, we have a C&P. This is one of her brand new Ollie clips. I don't know if I should call it that anymore. Yeah, it's still by Ollie. So this is C&P Ollie clip. And then this is the thank you card that she puts inside of our subscription box. And this is a journaling card, rules for living well, breathe intentionally, prioritize quality sleep, simplify your schedule, and notice your thoughts. And then I have the Resolute vellum in front of that. All right, so I have a card right here that says transformed by the renewal of your mind. Make sure I'm putting that in focus. That's from my promise notes. So when we received this this planner, it already came with also these dividers. So I'm excited about that. But in here I have some my promise notes stickers that say scripture on it. And then I ordered these because this is kind of like gathering meetings. I'll use that for Bible study, tithes, going to church. And so I can use these cards. Y'all hear that motorcycle out there? It's my husband. As soon as I start recording, of course I'll hear that. So I'm throwing a little inbox in right here just in case I have some things I need to jot down. And this will serve as the inbox. Like I'm going to put some sticky notes in here and just stick some sticky notes right here. I also have a task delegation. I'm going to order some more of these for this planner because the amount of tasks that I have for the work I do in the ministry, it is a lot, and some of them are priority and some of them are not. So I'm going to start listing all the tasks that I have to do and then divide them up between whether it's a high priority or not. All right, and then I have a 2022 just overall calendar from Infinite Lotus. Oh yeah, and these dashboards came from U&I Graphics. You can find the shop on Etsy. I really love these. I showed you guys this in my mini when I shared my mini. All right, this is from my promise notes. All things are possible with God. I love y'all know I love layering, but I love how the layering looks on Cloth and Paper where that's just a French doors with the curtains right there, but it looks so heavenly. It's really pretty. Okay, and then I had this printed again, but I went ahead and printed this from Infinite Lotus. This is just I'm using it as a perpetual calendar. When I hear that something's coming up, I can just write it on this calendar here. So this is January through December. And then they have goals. So I'm going to write down goals that I have for my ministry area. And then these are events. I can keep events. Also, so I paid for this printable. I like it, and it's a quarterly printable. And then sometimes we do have very busy days. I went ahead and put in a couple of dailies that I had for an A5, and so I'll keep that. And then we have a journal area, and I have some pockets here. I'll probably put a few sticky notes in here, but this is God is able to do whatever he promises, Isaiah 14:27, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalms 139:14. This is one of my favorite scriptures. This is a dashboard from Cloth and Paper about structured having and manifesting a clearly defined structure or organization. Man, our ministry, this is really good to go with the ministry area about us having a structured organization. And then I have some journaling pages here that I'll use this for journaling. And then I have notes pages, just notes. I put a pocket right here, and just as for right now, I put in Cloth and Paper's little thank you card. I've already started some notes for a sermon. I'm actually going to move this to the journaling side. We're reading a book called Closer, or a devotional called Closer. And so that's it. And I put a Cloth and Paper dashboard in the back of here. Oh, this is another dashboard. So I'll probably share this from time to time as I really get into it, but this is just more of a functional planner that I'm using. I really like it though. I like it. I wanted to go ahead and give the A5 a kind of challenge myself to use something different, and it was just sitting over there in a basket, and so yeah, I decided to do it. All right guys, so I'm going to switch seats, and I'm going to let my daughter Brooklynne share all of her planners with you, and so I'm excited about this. All right. So this is my daughter Brooklynne. Say hello.
Hello.
Brooklynne, thank you for joining me here today. Guys, I wanted to tell you also, y'all, I started planning maybe about how long? 5 or 6 years ago? Mm-hmm. 5 or 6 years ago, I went to Target and I bought a planner from Target. Nothing wrong with that. And I was sitting there doing all my writing and putting things in for work, and all of a sudden Brooklynne looked at me and was like, I want to buy you another Christmas present. It was in December. You said, I want to buy you another Christmas present. Yep. And she took me to Michael's and bought me my first Happy Planner. And that's where this whirlwind of planning started. Yes. This is all your fault. All the stickers, all the envelopes, all the sticky notes, all the everything is your fault. Do you take responsibility for this?
I mean, your self-control could be a bit better, but I guess I'll take responsibility if
you're right.
If you need someone to take it.
I do. So, Brooklynne, you're going to share, you have 4 planners to share today, right?
Correct.
All right, so you go ahead and take us there. Show us what you got.
Alrighty, so I'm going to take you through just a few of my planners at a time. So these first 2 that I have, these are the ones that I use for work. So I have the Spiral Notebook for 2022 that came out in one of the subscription boxes. And then I have a A5 that's below this that I keep in this like Amazon leather bound.
That's a nice Amazon leather bound
Yeah, it was what we found when we originally saw the Cloth and Paper one, since we just weren't sure if we wanted to invest in the real leather. So we went on Amazon, we found these. They must have been like $30, I think. And it's just a great one to have if you do not want to splurge on the more expensive
Can we
one.
put the link in the description box?
Yeah, I can find the link and I can send it to you.
Great.
So I'm going to put this one aside for now and we can just go through my work planner. Truly, this planner is kind of what I use. It's like my catch-all, but primarily this is what I work out of in my day-to-day basis. So she just has some cute little...
Is that actually... I'm going to start reading it. It's like a full article on every month.
About goals and it has quotes and it's just fantastic. I actually kind of like it. I do plan on reading through these every single month once I get there. But basically on my This Belongs To page, ignore the fact that I don't have my name on there as of yet. I'm waiting for somebody to print it out on her Cricut.
Oh my gosh.
So that it can look really pretty and aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
But down here, so this is like a little key that I make for myself every single year with my planners. I've narrowed it down to 5 different dot stickers to go with the 5 different categories I have in my life. So I'm not sure how well y'all can see that, but I just put down the dot sticker, what it signifies, and the title of said sticker since some of these colors are really close together. So I have payday stickers, stickers for like the payroll cutoff dates. If y'all don't know, which I'm assuming you don't, I work in the HR field. So those are just important dates that I need to have on hand when employees ask. I have my birthday stickers so I can keep track of everybody's birthdays. A sticker for when I'm out of the office, and then another one for like vacations or when I'm doing something fun. And this is just on a sticky note so that if I'm going through my planner and looking, I can just quickly pick it up. But I like it to live on this first page as a little home. Maybe one day if I'm not adding anything else to there, I can get it laminated. Let me center that real quick. But yeah, that's what I use it for. If you turn the page, next is your 2022 year at a glance. So I just created, once again, another little legend at the top. I just like to quickly be able to look at what I have coming up for a month or a few months ahead so I can plan accordingly. So the highlights that you see in pink are when I'm out of the office or on vacation. If it has like a blue square over it, that means I'm going to a concert. So I have a few splattered.
Oh my God, that's a lot of concerts. All of these are concerts with a blue?
No, the little squares.
The squares. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like on the 3rd and the 28th of April, those are concerts.
Okay.
I'm not that crazy. The next thing is these little explosions. Those are important events. So I have like the 18th since I'm moving to a different apartment, and of course November 8th, which is election day. So get out there and vote. Make sure you're registered. And then lastly, this little blue highlight date. Those are all the birthdays that I need to remember, or else these people will be angry at me. So those are sporadically thrown throughout.
Okay, that's the best one. Gotcha.
Yes, the only birthday in August, which is fantastic. All these other months, they're very clumped together. So that's my year at a glance. So like, let's say, for instance, I'm going on a trip. I know that in January/December, I need to be saving accordingly for said trip. So that's kind of how I use this.
I love the legend.
Yeah, and it's just like a quick, easy way so you're not flipping through your entire planner when you just need to like look up a date or you know the general date to be had. Same thing, I just went through on this holiday and observances page. I just went through and highlighted all the days that my work gave me off. Because once again, I'm in HR and these are questions that people ask me a lot, so it's easier to have it highlighted on here rather than me looking for the particular file. Once again, she's put a little basically article here that you can have fun reading. And then we get into the months. I have not filled out this January page yet. I'm not sure if I want to use it or not. just because most of my important dates are within my actual calendar, and at the moment there's not a whole bunch of important dates or a bunch of bills, so maybe throughout the year I might use this page more, but as of right now, at the beginning of the year, I haven't filled it out just because I'm not quite sure how I want to utilize it.
Yeah, that's the one thing about planning. It kind of evolves.
Yeah.
Like you have pages and you have like, you're thinking, I'm thinking I might use it this way. And then all of a sudden when there's an event, you see, oh no, I can use it this way instead. So
yes. If you go to the next page, this is my monthly calendar. And this is kind of where those dots that I had at the very beginning come into play. So I'm a pretty functional planner person. So I don't really do a whole bunch. I just want it to be very minimalistic and simple. So for instance, on the 3rd, I just wrote that I was going back to work. Or like on the 9th, you can actually see one of the mink stickers signifying someone's birthday, and I just wrote in someone's birthday. Any like large events in my life will be written onto this calendar. And this is basically the page that I flip back to. So for instance, on the 17th, we are out of the office for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So that's why there is a little dot sticker. So at the beginning of every year, I'll actually go through and I'll write down everyone's birthdays. I'll look at our payroll calendar at work, and I'll look at our holiday calendar at work and any vacations that I already have planned. And I'll go ahead and do these stickers for the entire planner year.
Yeah. So let me just ask you this. So you went through the entire planner and went ahead and put dates in there? See,
with these little dots.
And it's so funny. You and I are totally different. Like I don't go, I use a page where there's a calendar, kind of like the perpetual calendar, and I write it there, and then I wait until that month to actually fill it out. But the one thing you and I probably can agree on is that, are you like me? I have to have a monthly.
Yes.
It's a must-have.
Yes.
It's almost, I can't plan without it.
Yeah, the monthly is the largest tool that I utilize. So as the year goes by, this will get more and more cluttered. So it's just really important for me to go ahead and have those dates in there so that I personally don't forget. Like, I'm really bad at people's birthdays. I'm really bad at knowing when I'm off of work. I'm really bad at even knowing when I'm getting paid, even though I'm the person telling everyone when they're getting paid. I'm just really bad at these things. So it helps me out if I go ahead and take the 20 minutes it takes to put all these little dots and everyone's birthdays in my planner beforehand, rather than me getting to the month of May and being like, whose all birthday is in May, and forgetting someone.
No, I think that's great. And what you're really saying is that you developed a system, which is you basically have like some routines that are part of planning.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that this is not touched. Not touching your skin. Okay.
And then basically, since I'm moving, I utilize these little sticky notes a whole bunch. This is another cloth and paper sticky note that I most likely got in a subscription box. Since I'm moving, these are just questions that I've thought of as I've went on in my year so far, of the 3 days it's been, that I need to ask my leasing agent about. So if I'm at work and a random question pops into my head about me moving, because that's the biggest thing I'm dealing with at the moment, then this is where I'll jot it down on this piece of paper so that the next time I go in, which I know will be some point in January or even beginning of February, that I can have this ready so that when I'm talking to them, I'm not trying to think of these questions in the moment. So that's what this little sticky note is.
Do you keep a sticky note on your monthly every month? Do you start with a sticky note, or is it just for this month?
I start with the sticky note. I'm a list person, and I'm also a super random person. So I'll be watching a TV show and a random thought will pop up, and if I don't write it down somewhere, then it's gonna be lost forever. And it could be a fantastic idea that I want to utilize at work, or it even could be like a gift idea for Christmas.
Yeah.
So using these little sticky notes, or even your iPhone notes app to put it in so that you can then transfer it to a sticky note, is super helpful if you are extremely random like me.
Yeah, and that's what I use my inbox for, where it's just full of sticky notes, ideas, or questions, or anything like that. That's cool.
Yeah, and then once I get these questions answered, I'll move it to my notebook, which I'll show y'all later on. So right here, I just have a Ollie clip that I just stole from my mother.
Wow! Oh
and
my
by
gosh.
stole, I mean she gave it to me after I asked her if she had extras.
The pouting. Who has extra Ollie clips?
You did, because she gave me one. Extra. Look at it. And
it wasn't
an extra. My dot theme.
It wasn't an extra.
So I think it's lovely.
It is lovely. And I'm looking at it like I probably can't even get that one back. Like I can't even go to Cloth and Paper and order that one.
I'm so sorry, but no gives these backsies.
Moving on.
And then within the Ollie clip, I just keep the pen that I'm using at the moment. So this is one of the pens I got in the pen subscription box. And it's just a black pen. It's this writing right here for my booster shot.
It's supposed to be 0.5, but 0.05, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels very 03.
Yeah, it feels very thin.
Very thin.
So then let me go on to the next area. So
still making sure that this isn't hitting anything. Okay.
So this next area, as you all probably can see, is just the weekly. I'm a big fan of this type of setup because, once again, I'm a list person. So every day at the beginning of my work, I'll sit down and I will write down some of the priorities or things that I need to do. So for instance, today I needed to check my emails, think of a transition plan, and work within Zendesk. As you probably saw in my monthly, I'm starting a new position at work. So this week probably won't be super cluttered since it's mostly going to be tying up loose ends. But anything that I can think of that I need to work within will pretty much go down on this page in list form.
Okay, so I see in your list there's 2 colored in dots and one that's not. What is that? Explain.
Yeah, so I just do a little circle for a check. It's kind of like a checkbox. And then once I've done that thing or followed up with that person, like the transition plan, that meant I need to talk to my current boss about a transition plan.
Gotcha.
Once I've done that thing, I'll just take one of the highlighters that I have and color it in.
Gotcha.
If it's not colored in, then that means that that task is either not complete or it's going to travel over to the next day of the week.
Yeah, that's my life. Travel to the next day. Yeah. Okay, cool. So for the next day, just a quick question. Do you plan for the next day as soon as you wake up in the morning and kind of go through your day, or do you plan at night for the next day? Because I'm kind of random like you. There are some days I get to work, I sit down with my planner, and then I just go through what I need to do for the day. And then there's some days like I did last night. I sat down last night and just kind of made a list of everything I wanted to do today. So how do you or are you like me where you do it either or? It depends.
It's either or. So if I know that something is coming up, then I'll go ahead and write it down in here. But for the most part, in regards to my work life, it's mostly in the morning time. So like I'll log into my laptop, I'll open up Outlook and Teams and anything else I need to open. And then after I go through all of the chats I have and emails, that's kind of when I start writing down things that I need to follow up on that are outside of my regular day-to-day tasks.
Gotcha.
So like for instance, to check emails, I normally wouldn't put that down, but I just took a 2-week vacation from work and knew that I need to actually go through and check all however many emails that I have to make sure that there's nothing super pertinent that I need to deal with immediately.
Right. Awesome.
And then this is also like if my friends want to hang out or do something, or I have like a boba date with my sister, this is also where I'll just go ahead and jot that down so that I don't plan different events on top of each other.
So this is your catch-all, work, personal, everything.
Yes. This is the one that I work out of the most.
Cool.
And then basically at the very end of this planner, they've provided these stickers that I am still trying to figure out how I want to utilize. I really like these mini icons at the bottom. Since I have my own dot system, basically, I'm not quite sure if I'll use things like Payday, but I do like that they gave you these just to try them out. Yeah. So I'm trying them out sporadically. Like I have a to-do list in one of my February pages to go over everything that I need to do, like set up my electricity, etc., on the actual date in a list form.
Maybe you can make that just for your apartment, that color.
Maybe I can.
It doesn't match the other.
It does not match.
I'm funny like that.
Yes, it does not match, the entire pale pink brown theme that I have, and I'm not a big fan of this like yellowish color, just because for me I need something a little more bold to catch my attention. But I am going to try to utilize these this year just because I did not last year, and I do like the mini icons. And then in this pocket, this is just where I keep like all of the dot stickers that I have on that legend, and if I add another dot to said legend, then I just keep them in the back of here.
It's great.
So that is my first planner, and it's the main one that I use for like events and lists. So moving on to this second one. So as I said before, I use two planners for work. So I have the one that has the lists, and then I have this one in the Amazon cover. It is an A5, I believe. And I just have some of the dashboards and vellum pages that I've gotten in random subscription boxes. These cards that y'all have probably seen on my mom's channel at some point, just because I have not updated mine. But basically what I have in here is my password tracker. So I have a password tracker that I keep in here. I have to put my passwords pretty much everywhere so that I remember them. Just because like for work, I'm not allowed to use passwords I use in my day-to-day life due to data privacy, and then all other stuff. Like I am the holder of the family passwords for our Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, etc. accounts, and people are constantly asking me for said password as if I remember them. So I personally keep a password tracker in I think 2 of my planners. Since I will always have at least one of these on me. So that's what that was. And then we're going to get into this task delegation page. So basically all of these pages, only have 2 different pages in this planner. So I have the task delegation one, and then I have some note pages. So basically what I plan on using this for is kind of like a follow-up of my list page in my planner. And this is kind of where I'll actually prioritize them, but for the entire week. So like for instance, this week, things I've already put on there is the same things like Zendesk, super issue and transition plan. And one of the things I'm prioritizing is the queue, since it's not a tool that I will have when I leave. So I'm trying to tie up those loose ends. So this is kind of how I'll use this. It'll just be a weekly type of thing. I'll just quickly write down everything that I need to do or that I'm thinking of doing, and then I will prioritize them and give myself a date in which I need to have it completed.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I see you used the new tabs from Cloth and Paper.
Yes.
I love that. I love those tabs. I think that was my favorite in the subscription box.
Same. I really enjoyed them. I'm usually not like a big tabs person or a really big sticker person. I really like...
you are totally opposite of me when it comes to planning. I want all the stickers, all the tabs, and all the things. But
if I can't use it in a functional way, then I probably will give it away to someone.
Yeah. Hopefully
just because... Probably you. I don't like... having things just to have them because of the way that they look. If I'm not going to use it, then I'm going to get rid of it.
Don't come for me.
I'm not, because you do things in a very like aesthetically pleasing way, for me, I'm just like, I need to make a list and get all of these random thoughts down. And if I feel like if I have what I perceive as clutter in my life,
Yeah.
then things get more hectic. So I just like to get rid of everything. I don't keep things for sentimental value. Like, I'm just that person.
Yeah.
So if you
And
love
that's why I
using
wanted
those
you to
things, then
share,
it's fantastic.
because I think even the subscribers and people who watch this channel, there's so many different planning styles, and I love everyone's style. I really do, because what I've been saying about planning is that you do you do what works for you, right? Like, right here, there would have to be a card right here, just so I can read it. And you're like, clean.
Don't necessarily need that. And I had a happy planner for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I think I've been using cloth and paper for 2. Yeah, out of like the 6 years that we've been like deep into this planning world, I had 4 years of using a happy planner, and I did the stickers and I did the colorfulness, and I just never enjoyed it. Just because it never had a color palette that I personally liked. Not that I don't like color, but I didn't like the polka dots and the stripes, and it was just all very busy to me, and it was hard for me to actually utilize my planner. I was using it more as a scrapbook.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. So I was using Happy Planner for years, and then I realized I was so much into, and not dogging Happy Planner, y'all.
Yeah,
great company, great product, amazing.
Fantastic.
I still use the stickers on my monthlies, but I realized that I was more into the decorative piece, the decorating, and hopefully not get all these likes on Instagram and all of that. And then I was like, but I'm not being functional at all. Like, I'm not really planning and using it to make my life better. And so that's when I decided one day, I was like, I'm not using another sticker. I really have to make sure that this is, I'm being very productive in my planning. So, all right, cool. Is that it for that?
Nope. And then if you flip back, so I just put a follow-up tab on here because I don't have a divider as of yet. So if you flip to the research, this is the executive notebook paper that Cloth and Paper has. And this is kind of where if I'm in a meeting and I need to jot down notes or research things further, this is where it will go. As I said, it's my first day back at work today as of January 3rd, I believe. So there's nothing here. But this is my favorite notebook paper of all time. I've done the Cornell notes, I've done the lines, I've done the empty memo, and I prefer this one the best, mostly due to this structured like calendar up here. But this is what I prefer. So this is where like all notes for meetings will be jotted down.
Cool.
And then that's kind of how I use that one. So it's just a very minimal, pretty much notebook that I use along with my work and life planner.
All right.
So those are the first 2.
Great. Okay.
So now I have my next 2 planners, and these are more so my like personal life. These I won't use on a daily basis, but probably more so on like a weekly or a monthly basis. So I'm going to go through this top one first and put that one aside. So as you heard my mom say earlier, we received this A5 planner in one of the subscription boxes, and it took me a long time to figure out what exactly I wanted to use it for, but I finally think I figured out something that I enjoy and will actually utilize. So this is a planner that I will hopefully utilize more. So my goals overall for this year is to set up a morning and evening routine for myself. So as most of you might be aware of, or it might have happened to you, when the pandemic first hit, I was sent home and my company told me to stay home. So basically with that happening, my routines kind of crashed and burned as I was waking up later in the day to accommodate for the fact that I didn't have to commute. And since I was just sitting at home already on the couch, I wouldn't get up the couch to like do the things I would normally do, like a skincare routine or reading a book or doing anything else. So my goal for this year is to get back into a routine for myself. And hopefully this section of my planner will help me do so. So as she said earlier, these dividers were already in here, which is fantastic. I just have this digital declutter dashboard in here, just because I like looking at it. It does have some things that I do like to do, like disable my push notifications and take breaks. I just use this on here just to quickly look at it to be like, oh yes, these are things that I actually need
they're
to
they're great
utilize.
Routine reminders though.
They are.
Really, they are.
Since the theme is routines, I just put this declutter page in front of my habit tracker. So I plan on filling this out every month. These are things that will most likely change as the year goes on. So for instance, one habit I want to do in 2022 is I want to start waking up at 7 a.m. Now this does not mean I'll wake up at 7 a.m. and get out of bed and actually start doing things. This month my focus is to just wake up at 7. So I have to be at work at 8:30. I don't commute. I work from home permanently. So if I just wake up at 7 and I stay in bed for the hour and a half, then that's perfectly fine for this month. I'm a big believer that goals for your year should start out slowly and that they should evolve as the year goes on. So like later on in the year, it'll be wake up at 7 a.m., get out of bed, go on a walk with your dog, make yourself breakfast.
Brooklynne,
don't touch electronics.
That
like,
is so,
it'll go more on.
It's good because a lot of times this is the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a podcast by Craig Rochelle, and he was talking about habits and routines and creating these systems in your life. And this is the thing, what you said, that they evolve over time, right? So a lot of us come up with these hardcore goals and routines. I'm doing this. No, start simple.
Yes.
Start simple.
Like my goal is for the entire year. I don't need to go racing towards it. I just need to take these little baby steps so that by December, I'm naturally doing these things and I'm not struggling every single time and I quit on the 15th of January.
Right.
So like for instance, this goal is only for weekdays. So I only want to wake up at 7 a.m. on weekdays. So today was the first work day. I woke up at 7 a.m. and asked my mom. I stayed in bed until 8:25. And that is perfectly fine. And I got to happily color in a box.
Right.
I would like to work out in some way, shape, or fashion, even if that's walking my dog for 5 minutes or doing a stretch for 5 minutes or whatever. Just any type of movement for 15 days of this month would be fantastic because once again, I was sent home. I'm an asthmatic. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not really going anywhere for the most part. So I'm not moving a whole bunch. So this month I just want to focus on moving in some way, shape, or fashion. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go to the gym every other day and get on the treadmill for 30 minutes. Like, no, I just want to like walk down the street outside and come back, do like a 5-minute stretch, some jumping jacks, yoga, some type of moving. I'll increase it as I go. But I think this is a great way to just start off slowly. And then lastly, habit I have on here is reading. I used to read so much before college. I was a liberal arts major, and in liberal arts, all you do is read, and I was all read out. So I have not read a book since graduating from college in 2019, and I used to read 10 books a month. So that's like a big part of me and my personality that I kind of just set aside for the past 2 years or so, going on 3. So my goal this year that I have with my friend is we want to read 1 book a month. So that's going to be 12 books for the entire year. So I just want to make sure that at least for 20 days of this month that I've read something within said book. Just because I shouldn't let college ruin the fantastic hobbies that I had.
So when do you fill out your habit tracker? At the end of the day every day, or the next morning, or at the end of the week?
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, okay.
Yeah, so it's about like, 6 o'clock here. I got off of work, and I just went ahead and I said, yes, I woke up at 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I colored that in. Have I moved today? No, I went straight from the couch to this chair. Have I read anything today? I've read 475 emails. But that's not a book, so I unfortunately cannot color that in at the moment. But it is okay. There. And then I just have a lot more habit trackers behind here because I plan on my habits to change. This next section is the 5-year plan. I have not filled this out as of yet because I don't know
mine.
Yeah, I don't know where I want to be in 5 years. At the moment, I'm 24. I can't even like contemplate what I want to do next year.
I'm 51 and I'm struggling with it.
Yeah, so I'm struggling with it, and I am going to force myself to fill this out because I think it's really important to plan for the future. The only thing I know that in 5 years, I hope I have a house.
Yeah.
But with the way that, the market and everything is, I don't know if that's going to ever happen with these student loans.
Still a goal.
But it's still a goal. So that's the only goal I have in my life for 5 years. Hopefully one of these days I get some type of spark and I know where I want my career to go or what I want my personal life to look like, besides just being happy and being able to feed myself and not being at my mom's house.
You're only here until February, dear. Don't get excited.
Oh, yes, I know, but
only till February.
You know my generation, so that's what I have here, and I will fill this out at some point. But like roadblocks to hinder my success, confusion. Like I really don't know. We're not there yet. Okay. So this next section is the journaling pages. This one has a mood tracker. I will not be utilizing the mood tracker, I don't think. But what I do plan on using this for is to do a book review. I haven't told you this, but I plan on printing out the covers of every book that I read and kind of doing like a bullet journal moment within here.
Love it.
But I have not finished reading a book yet because it's only the 3rd of January. So I still have lots of days this month to do so. But after I finish each book, I just want to remember what my feelings were towards it. So that's what I plan on doing with these journaling. So I'll have like the date in which I completed it. I'll have like a little picture of the book. I'll give it like a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star.
I'm doing the same thing because I'm reading a book right now. Getting ready to start.
Come join me. I will be printing them all out on your new printer that you got for Christmas.
Okay, guys.
So there you go. That's what I want to use this
using
for.
My brand new printer.
Yes, this was not an original idea. It did come from TikTok. But I just thought it was so cool that people had entire bullet journals dedicated to books.
Oh my gosh, I need to get with the TikTok.
Yeah, get on Book Talk, y'all. It's fantastic.
Book Talk on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
And then at the back of here, I just have more notebook paper. I'm always jotting down random notes just everywhere. So I just like to keep some type of note paper in the majority of my planners. So that's what this planner is. It's mostly like habit tracking, 5-year plan, book review.
Love it.
So these are all things that, if I don't touch it on a daily basis, it'll definitely be on a weekly basis or every few days. So this is my last planner that I own. Hopefully I do not get more than 4 because I don't think I could keep up. And I just have this in the cloth and paper leather bound A5. So let me just pop this open. So on the side of this, I just have more of the little decorative cards, and then on the inside, I do keep some dots. I don't know what I want to do with this dashboard cover page.
I know. I'm not
trying
on mine. I've decided.
I kind of just like the way it looks. Like I think it's just very clean. I know that some people are going in and coloring in their word of the year, but I don't do a word of the year because I'm just trying to survive my year. So maybe I'll just put survive, but at the moment I don't really have a word, and I kind of like the crisp whiteness of it against the gold and the brown. So I'll flip that page. Next I just have some more of these little cute decorative things. that leads to a inbox. I actually plan on using an inbox this year. As I said, I'm someone who jots things down a lot, so these are some of the sticky notes that I plan on using to do so, that I just have on this clear inbox. You call this a dashboard, right? Mm-hmm. On this clear inbox dashboard, that leads to these inbox pages that my mom has tried to steal from me so many times, but I keep telling her no.
I think I need one for my A5 though. You need to share.
If I have extra, I'll check.
Okay, I'm sure you do.
But the way that I plan on utilizing this, so overall this planner is like house cleaning, meal planning type of stuff. So this is where I'll jot down all of the random notes or ideas that I have. Like if I want to be like, what's butternut squash? I'll put that here to remember. So I won't be using this in like a work fashion, but it'll be for like a random sporadic life fashion. Mm-hmm. Oh, for Christmas, I want to get my mom this. I'll write it down here. Those thoughts will go on this inbox. So I have a couple of those pages. If I flip this divider over, I have the conversions here. This is super useful for me because I have a American education and I don't know my conversions by heart. And I never will, and that is perfectly fine. But that's because this leads into my meal planner. So I do not use a meal planner every single week, but on the weeks that I'm struggling to figure out what I want to do, or on the weeks that I'm having guests over and I need to like make a meal for them, etc., or I'm not doing HelloFresh, this is where that will go. So meal planner, pretty explanatory. I'll just write down what I plan on eating for the different categories of, what are they called? Meals? Meal categories?
Meals.
I'm not a breakfast person.
Eat your breakfast.
But let's not even talk about that.
Coffee is breakfast. It's fine.
It's
Let's
coffee.
Go. Coffee is breakfast.
We're not even getting to breakfast, y'all, because she did me dirty as a child.
Oh my gosh, they don't need to know that.
She did me dirty. I was waking up.
Cereal.
I woke up so early because y'all taught in Dallas, which was a good like hour commute. It felt like so. As an elementary school kid, I had to wake up so early to go to their school.
I would like to apologize for this story. Okay, continue.
District,
yes,
that we live. So I was never into breakfast. I was into saying, forget breakfast, I'm gonna sleep more. And that's how I am not a breakfast person. So breakfast will always say coffee. I'm gonna try to do breakfast this year as part of my morning routine. We shall see how that goes.
Avocado toast is so good. It's
quick. But I'll eat at like 11 and that's brunch. That's not breakfast.
You're waking up at 7 a.m. now,
I know. So. We shall see what shall happen. Flips the divider. So then I have the laundry guide. This is super important to all of you millennials out there. Any of you like people who are in your 20s. I don't know her demographics. I learned recently on TikTok that every article of clothing or fabric has these emoticons on them on the label, and I had no idea what they meant. And now I do.
Your mom taught you nothing. TikTok is teaching you everything.
You taught me separate your whites from your colors from your jeans and your towels. Right. Throw them all in there. Put the wash and start it. That's what you taught me.
That's the same thing this thing is saying. Let's go.
So I put this in here because this is my cleaning section. So part of my routines that I want to get into, besides like your skincare and hygiene and eating well and working out type of ordeal, is cleaning. So I'm going into a new apartment in February, and I was really great for the first like 3-4 months of being in there, and then slowly my routines of cleaning just started to break down. And I am a single person, so I live by myself, and I should not have a sink full of dishes. Like, it just shouldn't happen with one person. So I want to use these pages this year to just keep myself on track and actually create a routine for what I'm doing on each day. Because I would find that it would be like a month and I'd be like, when was the last time I dusted? When was the last time I mopped my floors?
And that's all of us.
I have no idea. Yeah. So this is what this is going to be used for. Every week I plan on going through here, writing down the daily chores, filling that out, and then figuring out what days of the week works best for what task I want to do.
I just want to say that I look at my 4 planners all the time, and I think they're beautiful. I don't know what the deal is sitting here looking at your planners like I'm a planner failure. They're beautiful. Keep going.
Thank you. I just have this old ways won't open new doors type of thing. And that's to remind me about my reading goal. Because once again, it's something that I was super into as a teenager and as a child. I loved reading. And
no, let me just tell them this. She loved reading so much, so much. My husband and I walked into the house, and her and her friend were sitting on the couch reading a book on a 50-inch TV.
As you should.
Like, oh my gosh, play a video game.
Using their resources.
They use their reading a book. I mean, laughing, enjoying themselves.
Yes.
We were like, wow.
Now I feel like reading is a chore, so I'm trying to get out of that old
Adulting
mindset and get back into reading. So like, for instance, on these reading logs, I have put down every book that I've bought. So I've already pre-bought some books for this challenge. And I'm really new to, the bestsellers lists and everything else like that. So I kind of just went to Barnes & Noble's on one of their sale dates, read some descriptions, looked at TikTok, asked friends who are still into reading, and bought things that were interesting to me. And I went ahead and I wrote them all down. I don't plan on reading them in the order in which they are in this log, but I just went ahead and wrote them down so that I know that I need to do this. And then every day that I do read, I plan on going in here and writing down a little bit of what I loved about it and what page I'm on. So like on the first, I had read 108 pages of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, who is like a large novelist basically, and I just had no idea because I've been out of the game. And then I just said, love it. It's so suspenseful. Just something really small. And then on here I will just put, once I'm done, once again, the review of how much I liked it.
I love that of you what I just books did. And you're ready to go.
Yes, because I want to do 12 books. So I try to buy as close to 12 as I can, and I'll just continue doing this. What my hope is that as I read more and more every month, that I'll read way more than 12 books. Because once I said, I used to read 10 books a month. Yeah. And I want to get back to that level of reading.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So I do have more reading log pages than I have books at the moment.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so I have another password tracker that I'm gonna have to just flip over. Okay, so there we go. These are the password trackers if you haven't seen it, because I know somebody does not use them a whole bunch.
I use them mostly for work. That is one of my goals. I'm writing down my passwords. Okay, because when you're my age, you're thinking, I'm not writing down my passwords. I am writing down my passwords.
Yeah, but when you have your daughter set up your smart home and you have to ask them what their passwords are and they say they don't know, so as your daughter, you have to guess what their password is multiple times to figure it out because they don't want to reset it. It's kind of annoying.
You can't reset it. Oh my gosh. It's fine. I'm working on that.
It's a fantastic tool. I have all of my financial passwords in this planner. This planner does not leave my apartment. But this is where I put like my loan passwords, my bank passwords, etc., etc. I think it's fantastic. I love it. It's hard to remember passwords. Each password should be unique, so they say.
They're right.
And I just have it leading into my budget planner so that if I need to like check on an account and I don't have my phone on me or whatever I need it for, if I'm doing my taxes and I do it once a year and I don't know the password, it's right there. So this is the budget planner from Cloth and Paper. I originally was using this for 2021, but I decided that I don't want to do the savings tracker in 2021, and this is why. I think that my savings, the way that I had it functioning, is that I just have it going automatically to my account. every single month. So the thought of me sitting down and writing down how much I saved every week was kind of confusing because I get paid bi-monthly and it's not like a weekly savings type of ordeal. So it did not work with the way that my life functioned. But I did use the budget monthlies. So this is what those. I love the budget monthlies. Just because I get to see like how much my electricity has been fluctuating, how many subscriptions I have, when do I owe my dad my phone and insurance bill because I refuse to get off of their plan, things like that. I just write it all down and I get to see overall across all of my accounts because I'm also a big proponent of having different money in different accounts for different things, how much I'm actually spending and how much I'm actually making. And how much I could be putting into a savings account. So I think this is fantastic for all of you card swipers out there. I'm a big card swiper, Apple Pay or Venmo. So this is kind of what I use to slow my roll. Once I do my review at the end of the month, I'll be like, ooh, yeah, you definitely did not need to go on ASOS and spend $200. Like, you didn't need to do that.
Right.
Yeah, no, you don't go anywhere. You work from home. Or are you buying clothes? So that's kind of what I use these monthly things for. And I will fill out the reflection area of it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have a word of the month or like a monthly budget per se, just because every month is different with the different birthdays or events or vacations I have going on.
But you can allocate money to those types of things.
Yes, and I do that, but sometimes things just come up. So I wasn't a big like monthly budgeter, but I am a like, I want to have a no spend day. Like the total no spend days, I'm like, I want to have 10 no spend days. Oh my God,
I'm adding some no spend days.
Yeah.
I need to and stay off of Instagram because in my head, I've spent $20 today.
Stay off of those Amazon must-have videos on YouTube because they will make you buy all of them. So that's kind of how I use this. I've not filled it out yet for this year because, once again, starting new job. So I'm trying to actually see what my new paycheck's going to look like before I fill this in. So I would do this on the 1st of every month, typically, if it falls like on a Saturday. If it doesn't fall on a Saturday, it'll most likely be the first Saturday of that month. Just because I find after a long day of work in which I have worked with other people to do their, financials or help them within HR to do their stuff, I'm just not in the mood to look at numbers. I'm looking at numbers all day. So I like to do this on a Saturday or a Sunday, and usually it's the first Saturday or Sunday of the month. This is a it's a fantastic tool to use. It also has like your recurring payments area, which is where I kind of put like all of the subscriptions. This is where I see like if I need to slow down on my subscriptions, get rid of some, force someone else to pay for them.
No.
They love that I pay for the majority of the subscriptions. But
you're on your own adulting.
You still make more money than me. Whatever. I don't understand.
These 24-year-olds.
The last thing I have in here are these little calorie intake and water intake pages. I am the literal worst person when it comes to drinking water. I've always hated water as a child, and I hate it as an adult. I think it tastes disgusting. Y'all might say water doesn't have a flavor. Yeah, flavorless things are disgusting. I don't like things without flavor. So I always have a goal of filling out these water intake forms. I'm not really a calorie tracker, but the water intake section I just love to use. And I've been thinking of getting a, the scrapbook cutter, and I think I'm going to actually cut off water intake section and throw away the calorie intake because I'm not a big fan of tracking calories.
Yeah.
Calories isn't the only thing that matters. I think you need to look at all your macros, and this particular half sheet doesn't help me track all of my macros, which is what I prefer to do. So I do that on a website. But the water intake one, I really enjoy. So if you are not a water drinker, but you love to color in boxes, this is fantastic because it actually motivates me to drink water.
Yeah, I'm a worker.
And then that's what's at the very end of my home A5 planner. This sits on my countertop when I'm not living at my parents' house because my apartment's being built.
Your new apartment.
And it just stays
and
there.
These two go together.
Yes,
right?
so these two go together. The little clear A5 and the leather bound large A5. And then I have my two for work.
Well, Brooklynne, wow, thank you. Listen, let me put them all over here together. Thank you so much for sharing your planning and your how you plan and your planner systems with Mommy and her friends today. These are some great people on here. I love them, and I'm excited for them to meet you. Guys, I hope, making sure you can hear me, I hope that you really gained some great information from a young person too, age 24, and I hope you got some ideas from her, because I did as well. This is my first time actually sitting with her going through her planner. I saw her working last night on all her planners, and I was like, hey, how about you come on my YouTube channel and share with everyone? And she was like, okay. So I'm excited. Hey, give this video a thumbs up, a great big like. Make sure if you're new here, don't just, watch and keep going. Stop and subscribe. You think they should subscribe?
Of course.
Absolutely subscribe.
How are you not already subscribed?
Yeah, exactly.
Dropping the ball.
Dropping it. And if y'all have any questions for me or Brooklynne, put them down in the comment section. She'll be happy to go on there and answer any of your questions as well. So make sure you have a great week, but take charge of your life one plan at a time. Brooklynne, thanks for coming.
Thank y'all.
Y'all have a great week.
Bye.